Yo mamajamanādim ca vetti lokamaheshwaram asammūಢः samarteshu sarva papai pramuchyate.
Yaha, whoever it is, any human being anywhere in the world who knows me as what? Ajam, unborn, anadi, without beginning, Loka Maheshwaram, the great Lord of the universe. Then what happens? That person becomes asammūಢa, undeluded, and sarva papai pramuchyate, you become free from all sorrow. So what is the pathway to becoming undeluded in life? You know, the problem is we are not even aware that we are deluded. Which is true. Try telling a person who has had one too many. Go to a person like that and say, you're drunk, don't drive, I will drive. That's the worst thing to do. Because he's a, who says I'm drunk? Of course I can drive. And next thing you know, he might land up in jail. So, but this is it. When you are conditioned, when you are experiencing delusion, there's no way of getting across to the person that you are deluded. So the first step to spiritual evolution, first step, forget spiritual, first step to improvement is to understand that you are deluded. What kind of delusion do we have? First of all of us believe that this waking state is real, is permanent, this is it. This is my life. Completely wrong. You know why? Because the waking state at best is 1/3 of your lifespan. What about the balance 2/3? 1/3 you're in deep sleep, coma condition. 1/3 you're experiencing various dreams. Okay? So when you are going through a dream, let's say you've had a hearty meal. In fact, you've overeaten because the food was good. And you go to sleep, you dream, and in the dream, barely a few minutes later, you experience hunger, you experience starvation. You go knocking at doors saying, please give me some food because I'm starving, I haven't eaten for days. And suppose your friend from the waking, who knows what has happened, you've overeaten, you've had a hearty meal, has a passport to you in the dream. And when you say, I haven't eaten, I'm suffering because I haven't eaten for so many days, I'm about to die, your friend comes and says, what nonsense are you talking? You've just overeaten. In fact, you shouldn't have eaten so much. And you say, what are you talking about? For days I haven't eaten. So, in other words, what we're saying is, there's a disconnect between your experience in the dream and your experience in the waking. In the waking state, you believe the waking is real and the dream is unreal. In the dream state, you believe the dream is real and the waking is unreal. The question that should arise in your mind is, which of the two is real? Therefore, they say, you are deluded. If only you carried the reality of the dream state in the waking state now, you would suspect your experience of reality and say, they're two separate experiences. Which of them is real? This is what King Janaka asked. King Janaka, the mighty king, who had all the wealth at his disposal, much more than any king now, dreamt that he was a beggar suffering from starvation. And he woke up with a shudder. What frightened him was not the experience of starvation. What frightened him was the question. And the question that arose in his mind was, am I the king who dreamt that he was a beggar? Or am I the beggar now imagining myself to be king? Never mind the answer. The question doesn't arise in our minds. And therefore, he says, deluded. Such a person, when you understand ajam, unborn. Unborn means no birth, means no death, means no change. When you understand yourself as the changeless substratum on which various changes are recognized, you know that science tells us for you to be able to see a change, there has to be a changeless background against which you recognize the change, right? So we are observing so many changes. What is that changeless substratum against which the changes are observed? That is you, that is God, that changeless entity. Ajam, unborn. Anadi, before time, without beginning, means time was born at the second experience. What is time? Time is nothing but the interval between two experiences. That's why the unit of time is second, not first. So time was born at the second experience. But Atman existed even at the first, therefore before time. Beginning, without beginning. Lokamaheshwaram, great Lord of the universe. It is Atman that is the lawgiver that sets all the laws in place. That's one interpretation. Another thing is, what is the universe? The universe just consists of perceptions, feelings, thoughts. Today we are victims of perceptions, feelings and thoughts. Somebody throws a nice feeling at you and you go, say, flying higher. Someone says, you're terrible, I hate you, and you go down in depression. So you're a victim of the perceptions, feelings and thoughts that the world throws at you. You should be a master. You should be in a commanding position, not a slave. So, Loka Maheshwaram. And then comes Asammodha. Such a person is not confused. You know, we spoke of delusion at the highest level, but even in the relative we are confused. A youngster doesn't know whether to continue his education or to take a job or to start a business. Once that is decided, he doesn't know whether to marry or not to marry. And somehow or the other he marries. Why? Because everyone else gets married. And then he doesn't know, we are confused right through. A philosopher is never confused. Like a youngster went to Socrates and asked, Master, I don't know what I should do. Should I marry? Should I not marry? Socrates, without even batting an eyelid, said, by all means, marry, young man. So the youngster looked confused and said, you don't even know me? How do you give me the answer? He explained, if you get a good wife, you'll be a happy man. If you get a bad wife, you'll become a philosopher. So now you know why all of us are here. Asammodha. And then when you are free from delusion, you become sarva papai pramuchyate. You become free of agitation, sorrow. It is only when you are in a state of indecision that the sorrow comes. The moment you decide rightly or wrongly, you are okay. Papa means mental agitations. Mental agitations come because of unfulfilled desires. Unfulfilled desires or vasanas. So an enlightened person is one who is free from vasanas, free from desires, therefore no papa, no agitation. Next verse, please.